In the EU elections, the mainstream parties from the right to the left to the Liberals and the Greens, they all lost seats in the European Parliament. And they lost them to anti-EU parties and far-right parties who got more votes than ever before.
It's kind of depressing, the fact that there are a lot of extreme right parties and anti-Euro parties in the European Parliament right now.
I think a lot of people think people come from other countries make shit in the Europe.
When the sun went down on the European Parliament last Sunday, it stood clear that eurosceptic and far-right parties were the biggest winners. In some EU countries, they even became the biggest party. That was the case with UKIP in the UK, Dansk Folkeparti in Denmark and Front National in France, who all got around 25% of the votes. In Austria, the far-right party FPÖ came third with 20%, and in Hungary, Jobbik came second with 14%. In several other EU countries, parties with a similar agenda also won seats in the parliament. And it's not only people in the streets that are concerned about this. Also youth organizations of the European mainstream parties are worried.
I'm worried because, for example, what we have seen in France that Front National was the first party. I'm worried because for our democracy it's not a good signal.
It doesn't bring anything good. It only brings fear, depression, disappointments.
In countries such as France, in the UK, in Denmark, the far right really won a lot of MEPs, and these people will do nothing apart from collecting money here in the parliament, as they have been showing the past 5 years.
There is now a general hope that the mainstream parties, which are more pro-European and still in majority, will work closely together in order to limit the influence of the far-right and the eurosceptics. But Georgina Siklossy at the European Network Against Racism thinks that extremist politicians could have an impact anyway on EU decision-making.
They could have, these far-right parties could really have an impact on decision-making in the parliament and prevent decisions being made on equality policies or immigration policies.
How much power these new forces will have depends a lot on if they manage to form a political group. That requires at least 25 members from 7 different countries. If they do that, they will receive public EU money, and their candidates could also become responsible for specific issues in the parliament.
We could foresee that one far-right MEP could become the chair of the committee dealing with fundamental rights, so that will really have an impact on issues, fundamental rights issues in the parliament.
Georgina Siklossy thinks that if more people would have gone and voted in the elections, that could have reduced the influence of the far-right and the eurosceptic parties. Because there are still many Europeans who don't vote in European elections. Despite a massive campaign and the fact that the European Parliament has more power than ever before, the participation rate in these elections remained the same, around 43%. On the other hand, this was the first time ever when the participation rate in the EU elections didn't go down compared to last time. So in that sense, these elections were a small success.